One minute.
Okay, I have to admit there's something I don't have a lot of knowledge on, but it seems to me like the Chamber of Commerce and people that are on that committee should be working with the judge, and when they ask the judge to be there to listen to the committee to make decisions and help them figure out things, he should show up.
Okay, Jim.
The money for I-49 is already is there. So that will be completed. The money has been turned over to the Arkansas Highway Department. It's all let out to bid. It's our part. I hope we'll be through before Louisiana's part gets done. I passed down through Ida the other day and there is concrete going yonder way on both lanes. But Mr. Flowers, which is the Arkansas Highwayman, he said one time he had a bet on doing that with Oklahoma, that he would beat them there to Tulsa. And what happened, they started at the Oklahoma line, so they beat him. So, but there is money I've already done for that. That is a complete job.
1 minute.
Okay, I have to admit there's something I don't have a lot of knowledge on, but it seems to me like the Chamber of Commerce and people that are on that committee should be working with the judge, and when they ask the judge to be there to listen to the committee to make decisions and help them figure out things, he should show up.
Okay, Jim.
The money for I-49 is already is there. So that will be completed. The money has been turned over to the Arkansas Highway Department. It's all let out to bid. It's our part. I hope we'll be through before Louisiana's part gets done. I passed down through Ida the other day and there is concrete going yonder way on both lanes. But Mr. Flowers, which is the Arkansas Highwayman, he said one time he had a bet on doing that with Oklahoma, that he would beat them there to Tulsa. And what happened, they started at the Oklahoma line, so they beat him. So, but there is money I've already done for that. That is a complete job. That's what they have told me. That's all I can say about that. They have said that it's there, it's already let out to bid.
Can I give you an update on that?
Sure.
All right. The money is funded except for the last 3.5 miles of pavement for now through 2013. Unless we get additional funding, the last 3.5 miles to the Louisiana line will not be finished until 2014, 2015, or 2016, whenever it can be worked in. So you're correct in that most of the money is there. But when you don't have 3.5 miles, you might as well have 10 miles because you got a big gap. So, and I was with Dan Flowers 4 weeks ago and went over this specifically. So unless we promote it, we're going to end up with 3.5 miles that may not be completed till sometime in 14, 15, or 16. And that's why I was asking, and we do need the county's assistance and backing and everything that we can do to get that finished, because it is an economic growth machine. I mean, that's all interstates do is bring jobs.
Okay, we're going to go, just a minute. We're going to go back to the candidates on this because we want a straight up and down question about the last 3.5 miles down toward Louisiana. We want to know if you're committed to funding that. And who's up first? Larry?
Oh, I'm sorry, Judge?
Judge?
Like I said, they told me it was done. It is a done thing, finished to the Louisiana line. It's been funded. That's the last I heard.
It's all funded except 3.5 miles.
Okay. They told me it was funded up to the Louisiana line,
Well,
and that was over.
A year or two ago, they thought it was going to be there, but it's not there now.
That money went north.
No, it's just not.
Let's just assume he's right, Judge, that we've got a 3.5 mile gap here. What do you plan to do about it? You gonna get it funded?
I will call the highway department to make sure you're right.
Okay, do that.
And then I will start my crying and squalling about, let's finish this. What's wrong? But
That's one way to
this is
support it.
honest truth that Mr. Flowers himself said that has been funded, that is done, that is there. So I don't know what he's told you about 3.5 miles, because there's not that much down there, about 4 miles, so it's all we lack.
All right, if you go all the way through year 2016, it probably is funded, but that's 2016. Louisiana's going to be ready by 2012, 4-lane highway all the way to Shreveport. So they're going to be no question about it. They're gonna beat us from Shreveport to the Arkansas line, that's gonna be done.
There's enough Razorbacks up there, they're not gonna beat us.
Well,
They're not gonna let that happen. I will call in the morning and find out what all about this.
But what we're trying to do is to get the last 3.5 miles within a year or so after Louisiana finishes, which will be 2012 or 2013, and not wait till 14, 15, 16. Because that's what's going to happen if nothing happens. Quite honestly, if the federal government doesn't get straight, we might not ever get anything done. But that's what we're looking at.
Thank you, Mr. Green. Larry, I'm gonna give you about a minute to talk about, all right, 30 seconds to talk about I-49.
Again, I apologize, I'm not educated to the facts on that. Of course, I haven't been invited to any of the committee meetings, and I'm not in that capacity yet, so it's really not on me just yet. I mean, I'm interested, but I haven't, I'm not in the official capacity to get into that. But I pretty much agree with everybody else, except maybe we're having a bake sale. A couple of billion.
What do you do about the dead trees on the side of county roads?
No, really, there's a lot more to it than what people realize on that, and I can kind of understand a little bit about why it hasn't been done. It really depends on if they're on the line or over on the other side of the barbed wire fence. My understanding is you have so many feet from the center of the road out, and that's your responsibility. And if you can get permission from the landowner to cut them down, it's a great idea, because I do think that that's a problem, and it could fall on a school bus, and it could be one of your children. I mean, it's something that needs to look into, but I don't know for sure right now on this, I was in that capacity and I've seen it and all that kind of stuff, but I would try to do something.
Thank you, Larry. Judge?
We have cut some trees, we haven't cut all trees, but like I say, if they're on the backside of that slope and it doesn't fall, when I became judge, some of the stuff that, I went to like 15 hours of schooling for county judges, some of the things they said was mimic the state, do what the state does, and because they got a lot more money and they got a lot more experience than you have. And so we've done a lot of that, but some of the state's thing is when they fall, we'll get them up. But some of them fall that's not dead, and I saw one the other day that's out on, I don't forget what that name of the road is, 29, and Attaway Lane. It is tall and it's big, but it's dead. And all I can say, we give them it when they're dead. I cut one time, it cost $3,000 something, because some trees I don't want my men in there getting hurt on. They are huge, and it takes a professional tree person to do those. There's 900 miles of road, don't forget that, out in Miller County. But I'm not backing off of trees, but we do get them when they fall, but until they fall, sometimes we have to do what we have to do.
Okay.
Well, Larry, let's ask you a question.
Okay, about 4 or 5 months ago, I publicly stated that I was going to hire more people, put a break room in the shop, and it's very hot there, and I was going to get some enclosed four-wheel drive tractors, which would make more sense. Because whenever we have people mowing the ditches, if it's a little bit wet, two-wheel drive tractor gets stuck in the instant. Didn't make sense to me. So these are some of the changes I would have, that's just some many changes that I've talked about. And I've noticed recently, those things have started taking place. I just want to know, is that a coincidence?
Hey, Judge. Yeah.
Very many of y'all really know Roy John McNash. You know I love John Deere tractors. And I love four-wheel drive tractors. And I love cab tractors with air conditioners on them. And I like my guys to have that kind of stuff to work with. And like you say, the money that was put back, we paid for those tractors. We haven't financed that tractor for when Mr. Burgess wins, for him to come in and have to pay them all, like some that was financed for me, trucks that was financed for me that was wore out. These everything I buy is paid for, paid cash. And it's a good thing that I can do that, and it's done with your tax dollars. I understand that. But as far as buying those, because Mr. Burgess said that, I don't remember that. If he said it, it was a good thought.